Okay, good morning everyone. Thanks for joining this class on the class library. I have pre-recorded this class. I am going to take this Saturday off. So I'm pre-recording, adding this to the class library so that you guys can enjoy it on Saturday or Sunday or whenever you feel like doing this class. And today's class, last week we kind of worked on crow. If you did look at the class library, last week was a crow flow class, kind of breaking down crow from a beginner standpoint and trying to hop back out of crow using a towel. And today I want to look at crow again, but also look at kind of hopping and putting some weight into our hands, using our shoulders and utilizing our core while we're in crow, but also hopping, not really into crow, but hopping as if you were going to maybe go into a handstand or hop forward to your hands, getting that weight into your shoulders. So if this is something that doesn't really sound good to you, using that much weight bearing in your hands, using your forearms, I do have two classes on the class library that are called No Hands Flow, and we don't use the upper body or shoulders at all, and maybe that's something that you would be interested in. But for today, we're going to use our shoulders and we're really going to use this core. This class is going to be about 45 minutes this morning, so a little different than our hour-long class. Thank you for joining. Let's get started with a little meditation. So just sit up nice and tall, hands on your knees. Invite your eyes to close. And just come into this space. Take notice, keeping your eyes closed, take notice of the space that you're in. The noises in the room. Keeping your eyes closed, notice what this room looks like, the room that you're in. Take account of the walls, the windows, the space. And then bring that awareness back into your body. In the same way that you took note of the room that you're in, I want you to take note of your body. Notice this body that you're in. Notice how it feels this morning, how it's showing up. And then maybe you would like to set an intention for this class, this next 45 minutes or so that you're working on yourself. Maybe you want to think about a word or a phrase to carry you through. And it might sound a little cliche, but this morning mine is let go and let flow. If that's something you want to join in on. Whatever your phrase may be, just repeat it a few times and take those deep inhales and exhales in and out of your nose. Connecting with that mantra, that phrase. And And then on that last exhale, let's relax these shoulders and stretch out our neck by taking our chin down towards our chest. Chin down towards your chest. You can relax your hands down to your sides or keep them on your knees. Just try to create some space in that back of the neck. The triceps relax, the shoulders relax. We're going to be using them, so let's enjoy this moment. Keeping your right hand on the mat, lift your left arm up, walk your right fingertips out. Let's stretch out that side body. Keeping your gaze forward, keeping your gaze down towards the mat, or you can even try taking the gaze up towards the ceiling underneath of your arm. Feel a nice stretch in that muscle that goes all the way underneath of your shoulder blade, down the side of your spine, connecting to your ribs. Take a big inhale in, bring yourself all the way back, and we're going to switch sides. Left hand goes out onto the mat, right arm reaches up and over, stretching into that side. Maybe you gaze up, maybe you relax your head down. Inhale, bring yourself all the way back to center. Take and reach your arms up. Flex the palms up towards the ceiling as if you're pressing those hands into the ceiling the same way you would press your hands into the mat. So sometimes when we do that press, we reach our elbows or our shoulders up towards our ears. I want you to think shoulders away from your ears. You have this nice wide square shape in your shoulders. That's what's going to support you when you start hopping into your hands. So keep that strength, shoulders down, arms straight, hands pressing into the ceiling. Then we connect with our core, pull that core in, keep pulling the navel in towards the spine. Feel as if you're lifting everything up from the bottom of the mat, all the way up into your navel, into your core, and press. And then find that breath again. Exhale, release. Shake the arms out, wiggle the wrists. We're going to come out onto our mat in a tabletop position. Jumping right into more shoulder work here. We're not going to go do a cat-cow yet, but I want you to check in with your hands, make those fingers wide, and take the wrists underneath of your shoulders. So you have this nice line, but you might be moved a little bit forward on the wrist, and that's fine. Ground down, and I want you to take and drop the chest down towards the mat. Keeping that core tucked in, chest down towards the mat, arms are straight. And as you press the hands into the mat, we're going to puff up that upper back and round it out. So not quite a cat-cow, just finding that mobility in your shoulder blades. So take the chest down towards the mat, relax your head, it doesn't have to be looking forward. You can look straight down in between your hands. Keep that core tucked. Press into your hands, puff up the back. And a few more rounds. Let's try 5 more rounds of this. Just squeeze those shoulder blades together as you drop the chest. Focus on keeping those arms straight and then round it out. Puff. Notice your core. We're going to try this a step further after these 5 rounds. You can either stay here or you can take the more advanced version. But I really want you to notice that strength in those shoulders and that flexibility. The more you do this pose, if this is your first time doing this exercise, it does feel like you're not moving at all. Those shoulders might be a little tight and it might feel like you're just doing these little tiny movements. But I promise the more you do this, the better it gets. The more mobility you have. Last round, ground down into those hands. Let's come up into a high plank. And if a high plank is too much for you in this pose, you can go back down to your knees, but let's try it out. Shift your weight forward into those hands, drop the chest. Shoulders together and round it out. These will go a little bit faster. It's not a push up, the arms are straight. You're just finding that strength in the shoulders, drop it down, and you're gonna watch me shake. and up. 2 more if you can, drop, and up, and up, and back into your downward facing dog. In your downward facing dog, check back into those shoulders again. Bring them up towards your ears and then take them away. Gaze back toward your knees or your thighs. Ground down into those hands. You may notice that my heels are up just a little bit. I want to focus on my arms and my shoulders first, and then press back and down into my heels. Taking it slowly to warm up those hamstrings. Ground down to your hands. Just step the right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. So take a big step forward. Take a lunge. Left ball of the foot is onto the mat and you're shifting that left heel back. So this is a slow hold here. Again, core. And then reach forward through the top of your head. Make fists if you need to. Be light in your hands here. Really just focus on those legs. We want to warm up those legs just like we warmed up the shoulders. Our hips, our glutes, they're supporting us just like our lats and our triceps, biceps, trapezius muscles, all of those. 2 more breaths here. Take those hands back down onto the mat. We're going to step it right back into a downward facing dog. Take 1 breath here and switch sides. Left foot steps up nice and big to the outside of that left hand. You're on the ball of the right foot. Shift that right heel back towards the wall behind you so you have a nice stretch and a nice straight right leg. And then pull those lower ribs in, reach to the top of the head. Keep that spine long. Few more breaths. Deep stretch, long hold. Exhale, take it back. Down dog, adjust your hands if you need to. Notice that those heels might feel a little bit more comfortable down towards the mat this time. And if the whole foot is on the mat, ground down and out into your feet. Gaze back toward your knees or your thighs. Check in with that core again. Lift up and in. Last exhale, gaze forward towards your hands. Step 1 foot forward, then the other. Take a wider stance. Hip width apart. Inhale halfway. Exhale, fold. Shake your head side to side. Relax the head. Check back in with those legs. I want you grounding down and out into your feet so that these hips are going out wide. The tailbone is lifted up towards the ceiling. Those legs are your foundation, the feet are your foundation. If you lift up halfway, the core comes in, and then you fold over the legs. More space in your lower back. Inhale, slowly roll it all the way up. Lift and reach your hands up towards the ceiling, gaze up toward your thumbs. Let's take it over to the right with a little reach. Sweep it all the way around to the center. Bring it over to the left. Feel that nice stretch on your right side. And bring it back up. Once to the left side. Left side, drop those hands over. Bring it around to the center. Over to the right. And lift up. Gaze up towards the hands. Big stretch, send the hips forward, open up your chest. Exhale, swan dive, fold. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, fold, hands to the mat. We're just going to step those feet right back into our down dog. Beautiful. We're gonna go ahead and get started now that our hips are warmed up, our shoulders are warmed up. So I want you to inhale, look forward towards your hands, lift the right leg up towards the ceiling. Bend into that right knee, reach it all the way over to the left. Those right toes, that is, reach it over to the left. Open up that hip. Round out your back, step the right foot forward in between the hands this time. But I want you to stay up onto that left ball of the foot, just like we did in our warm-up lunge. Ground down into your right foot. Keep pressing that left heel back. Bring your upper body up. Now let's take the hands onto the waist to start here. I want us to connect with our core. So instead of taking the hips forward, I want you to tuck a little bit. So if that back knee bends, that's fine. We're trying to look for this tucked spine, core in. Keep pressing into that right leg. So hands on the waist sometimes helps because we can really notice that tucking and that sitting up tall. Lift the navel up. Again, left knee can be bent, that's fine. You might even feel better, a stretch in the front of the quad. And then keeping that core active, keeping those hips square, I want you to start to send that left heel back. Keep bending into your right knee. So we're loosening up that core a little bit here, but I want you to think about those hips being in a nice square. Rather than one hip forward, one hip back, keep them even. You'll feel more of a stretch in the front of this left quad and reach those arms up. Exhale, both hands come down around that right foot, ground down into your hands, big step back. Left side, ground down into your right foot, lift that left leg up high, open up. Reach those left toes over to the right. Round out your back, swoop that left foot through. Onto the right ball of the foot this time, find that foundation, pressing down into your left foot. Reach the arms to your waist. Check in. Bend that right knee a little bit. Let's over-exaggerate this tucking. Core active, left foot grounds down. Feel that strength in that right quad. Hands on the waist to check in with your hips. Make sure they're square. And then keeping those hips square, just send that heel back so the right foot starts to straighten. The right leg starts to straighten. And from there, when those legs are square, reach the arms up. Keep that core active, but open up the chest this time. Exhale, hands come down around that left foot. We're going to step back to meet the right, back into our downward facing dog. So now that we opened up those quads again, opened up those legs, we're going to try a little bit of hopping. So let's warm up here by bending into our knees, taking the chest down towards our thighs, and then straightening the legs out, heels to the mat. Bend knees, chest towards your thighs, really crouch down like you're going to give a big hop, and then straighten out, heels down. One more time. Bend and straighten. Good. So instead of hopping with both feet forward first, we're actually going to hop one foot forward. And we're going to hop right into that lunge that we were in before. So we're going to start with the right side, and it's going to look something like this if you want to watch first. We're grounding down into the hands, we come up onto our tippy toes, we kind of bend into those knees, but we're lifting up into our hands, and right foot goes forward. And then we're going to go back, and we're going to take the left foot. So I'm kind of just exaggerating the hop to get my foot up. And the reason that we're hopping is so that we can activate into the hands, but also activate these quads. So we're just going to go back and forth. You want to try it with me this time. Bend into those knees, hop the right foot forward, and hop it back. Both feet lift up for just a second, left side, and back. Good. Right side, and left side. Good, one more time. Great, back into your down dog. Keep that core active, roll forward onto your hands, high plank. Exhale back down. Good. This time, we're gonna hop both feet. So ground down into your hands again. And give little hops. You might wanna step the feet in a little. So we're grounding down into those hands. We're activating our shoulders. Remember that puffed up back. We wanna keep that here. Puffed up back and a little hop. So this time, both feet lift. Press into your hands, little hop. And again. Just join us in a little hop. It doesn't matter if you hop up high. It doesn't matter if you do just a little tiny hop or big hop, but we're hopping. You're hopping to get the weight into your hands, and you're hopping to feel that weight so that maybe your hops slow down. And if your hops start to slow down a little bit, you'll start to notice you're catching in certain spots as if you could hold. Good, down dog. Take the knees to the mat. Let's take a little rest. Just flip your palms up towards the ceiling. Reach the hands out. Head down towards the mat. Child's pose. Take those knees out wide, toes together. Relax into your quads. We're going to stretch out our quads here. Nice slow stretches. So bring your breath back. That was a lot of hopping, a lot more warming up, a lot of hamstrings and shoulders. So just let it all go for a moment. Let it all go and let it all flow. And inhale, come up into your tabletop. Step that right foot forward to the outside of your right hand. Keep the left knee on the mat. Bring those hands back to your waist. And let's try tucking that core again. So we're bending into that right knee, but we're tucking. Tucking that core, tucking the tailbone. Find that stretch here. The more you tuck the tailbone, the more you get a little bit of a stretch in that left hip because the hips are trying to stay square. So find that balance. Shift it forward maybe a little. And then open it up. Take a bend, a deeper bend into the right knee, but let's open it up this time. Don't worry about that tuck. Shift your hips forward. So this is just a difference in the way we do the poses, and notice the space that you gain. So come back up, straightening a little bit through that right leg, and tuck. Tuck. Send that left hip forward. Notice that stretch in that left psoas. As you over-engage your core here, relax your shoulders. Hold there. And then deep bend into that right knee. Let it go. Let it go. Hips fall forward. As your hips fall forward, your chest opens a little bit. You have some more space. You can open up into a little back bend. And then come back. One more time. I want you to notice if you get deeper every time, just from this subtle stretch, subtle strengthening in your front quad. So tuck. Notice the body. Notice the strength in this body. Hands to the waist, because the more your hands are on the waist, the more you notice that pelvis movement. Keep pressing into that whole right foot, and then let it go. Hips shift forward. They shift forward, they fall forward. You're letting it go. You're opening up your chest. And come back. Take an exhale, take both hands onto the mat, and just straighten through that right leg. Keep that left knee bent, keep the hip off of the foot, and fold. Walk the hands back. Come to the inside of that right foot. Just take it back to a tabletop. Sway the hips side to side. I know these movements may not feel like much, but we're getting into the attachments of our hips. And we're also supporting our shoulders by doing our little hops. We're supporting our core. We're using all those supportive muscles. Left foot steps forward. I'm going to face you guys this time for just a little bit of a different approach. Maybe you can see better. So that left foot steps forward. We're grounding down into that left foot and we're tucking the hip. Tuck the hip, tuck, tuck, tuck. Feel that stretch, right quad this time, right hips shifting forward. You're trying to find that square in the hips. Hands to your waist helps. Find it. So my left hip always sits up a little bit higher than my right anyway. Maybe you guys with the hands on your waist, you'll start to notice little things like that happen. That also is what kind of creates the dominant side and the undominant side of our bodies. That side that you can balance on better than the other. Feel that stretch. And then we're gonna let it go. We're gonna sink into that stretch, sink the hips forward, open up the chest, look up. The whole time you're pressing into that left foot. Keep pressing into that left foot. Use the hamstrings to bring you back and tuck. Exaggerate that tuck. Tuck the tailbone, pull the core in, feel that stretch in the quad. Good. Keep tucking, keep breathing, shoulders relaxed, and then shift it forward. As you shift forward, hips shift forward, you're sinking, you're opening the chest, and you're looking up. Keep pressing into that left foot. Use the hamstrings again. Bring yourself up and tuck. Exaggerate the tuck. Feel the stretch. Keep pressing into that left foot. Sit up tall. One last time. See if you open up a little bit bigger. Shift it forward. Open up the chest. Sink forward. Back bend. And come back. Take an exhale, good. Both hands kind of fall around that left foot. We're sinking back into a hamstring stretch to forward. Inhale back up. Take an exhale, come back into your tabletop. I'm going to move back to the normal spot on my mat. Back into a tabletop, knees come out wide. Let's sink for one more breath into our child's pose. Reach the hands out. Inhale, look forward towards your hands, back into your tabletop here. Let's step the feet forward one at a time. Coming into toes out towards the corners of the mat. Hands to the mat, sink into that squat. So those hips are getting a lot of love and movement today, a little bit extra range of motion. And you know what we're gonna go into this time. We're gonna work on that crow again. But we're gonna break our crow pose down a little bit differently than we did last week. I want us to try to isolate each leg in our crow pose while also using our shoulders. So I want you to watch me first. This is obviously a little bit advanced. If you already have a crow pose, this is something I want you to work on to challenge yourself. If you are just working on a crow pose, that's what I want you to do during this little time period during this class. I want you to work on your crow. Just going up and down, rock out your wrists, and go back into it. So pressing into those hands, let's lean forward. Let's get into a nice, comfortable crow. Tuck those arms underneath of your knees. Try to get those knees up as close to your armpits as you can. And we're leaning into our hands and we're lifting up. And so I want you to get up nice and high in your crow if you can. Lift your heels toward your butt, lift up higher like you're straightening your arms. And you're gonna take that right foot toward your right hand, and then the left foot toward your left wrist. So just little exercises like that. I'll show you this way. So go up and down. Reach through the top of your head, just like we did last week. Reach through the top of your head, that helps. So we're lifting, heels, lift, bring yourself up, and then right foot towards your right hand. Woo. Left foot towards your left. And this is more forearm than your hand. Good, I have to come back down. So we're working on that little bit of movement in your crow, all while pressing into your hands, all while keeping those shoulders away from your ears and pressing into the hands so you have this nice shoulder support and strength in your hands and in your shoulders. Ground down. Let's do it one more time. If you took a little break, and if you need a break, go into your child's pose or shake out those wrists. Ground down into your hands, lift, lift, look forward or reach through the head like the spine is long. Lift yourself up, crow, foot to your forearm, back up, foot to your forearm, back up. Feels a little bit like those hops that we did. I know we're tired. Lift. If you can take both feet, try to lift the butt up. Good. Now, the reason that I'm doing this is because the more that you take one hand to one forearm, the other hand to the other foot to the other forearm, and like I just did with both feet on the forearms, your butt lifts up more, you're more into your shoulders. That's the start of a little bit of a handstand. So let's do it one more time. One more time, ground down into your hands. Lift yourself up, up, feet up, both feet to the forearms. If both feet are on the forearms, let them touch there, lift a little bit higher, and lift. And that's how we start working on that lift up and float up. Good. Let's lie down onto our mats to relax our core. Shake the legs out. Bend your knees. Swish it side to side. I know this is a little bit of an uncommon class. This isn't a normal flow class. It's more like a workshop. Sometimes when I teach all by myself with nobody watching, it's a little bit difficult. It's easier for me to break down one specific pose. Exhale, relax those legs. Relax those psoas muscles. They worked hard. Let's reach back and grab for our right foot. And as you reach back, just press that right heel down to the outside of your right sit bone. If you need more of a stretch, you can always kick that foot into your hand and press the hand against the foot to get a little oppositional force. And release. One more time. Left side. Press that left heel toward your left sit bone. Press the foot into your hand. Hand into the foot. Hip to the mat. That's a nice stretch. Exhale, release. And now that we worked on a little bit of back bending already today, we warmed up some of our back and our core. I want you to bring both heels in towards the sit bones. Grab a hold of both feet if you can, and we're just gonna kick it up and lift. Mainly focus on these legs. If you wanna focus on the chest and the shoulders, you can, but hips towards the floor, feet lift up, and exhale, release. Beautiful. Let's take it back into a child's pose. Good. Inhale, press into your hands, roll up. Keep pressing into your hands to lift up into a down dog. And let's send ourselves through a last little flow, just one breath in each pose to kind of sink into those legs, into that space that you created, and kind of stretch it all out. We used a lot of engagement in our legs and our quads and our core, and we want to even it all out. It'll make you feel better tomorrow with those muscles relaxed. So ground down into your hands, press into your left foot, lift that right leg up. Take it over to the left side. And then round out that back, step the right foot forward towards your hands. Come onto the left ball of the foot, reach both arms up. Take it into a warrior two. Core is tucked, arms are out, knee is bent. Reverse your warrior. Float forward, warrior two. Drop that right arm down to the inside of your right foot, reach your left arm up. We're gonna just swing over left hand to meet that right hand. Rock back over onto your left ball of the foot. Make the hands wide if you can. Bend into the arms, lift that right leg, and take it back. Chaturanga, up dog, down dog. Switching sides. Left side, ground down into your right foot, lift your left leg up. Bend that left knee, reach that toe over to the right. Bring the knee into your chest, swoop it forward towards your hands, onto the right ball of the foot. Inhale, reach it up, warrior one arms. Open up to a warrior two. Tailbones tucked, legs stay active, make this what you want it. Reverse warrior. Inhale, reach it back, warrior two. Exhale, hand to the inside of that left foot. Right arm reaches, side angle modified. Exhale, right hand comes down to meet the left hand. Tip it over to your right ball of the foot. Make the hands wide if you need to. Lift that left leg up, lean forward into your arms, chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, down dog. Beautiful. From here, let's step forward or hop forward and just lie down onto our backs. Lie down onto your backs. Take the legs up towards the ceiling, arms up towards the ceiling. Let all that blood flow go from your toes, from your fingertips, all the way down towards your chest. It's like a dead bug. I think that's actually what this pose is called, like a dead bug pose. Let that blood flow go back into your quads, back into your hips, back into this body, this torso. My legs are shaking. Take a figure four, right ankle on top of your left thigh, thread the hands through, bring it in. Close your eyes or relax that upper body. Switch sides, take that right leg out, left leg comes on top of the right thigh, thread it through, relax. And lift and release, lift it back up. As your legs go up, your arms go up, bring the soles of the feet together. Grab a hold of the pinky toe edge side of the feet, stretching out those inner thighs again. Send the outer thighs to the wall in front of you. Flatten that lower back down towards the mat. Relax the legs. Take the feet down to the mat, knees open out to the sides. And allow yourself a moment here. I want you to do another body scan. Notice how your body's feeling. And if there's anything else that your body is calling for this morning, go ahead and take some time to throw that in. I'm going to end us here in this Shavasana pose, this relaxation pose. But if your body feels like it needs some more flow or some more deep stretching in those quads and hamstrings, or maybe those shoulders need to work out a little bit, you can go ahead and cut me off and finish up. Or you can stay right here for a little meditation. Either legs staying out where they are, or legs out straight. I want you to bring that breath back to a natural state of breathing. I want you to reconnect with whatever mantra or word you gave yourself at the beginning of class. I want you to take a moment to sit with that. The practice of yoga is so much more than just a physical practice. And the reason that I say that is because everything in our body is connected. All of our muscles are connected to our nervous system. Our nervous system is connected to our cardiovascular system. Every functioning system in our body, they're all intertwined. So just by moving and engaging and incorporating this physical body, we start tapping into that nervous system. Tapping into our brain waves, our emotional body. And that's why we do this relaxation pose to end, so that we can reconnect and sit with all of the feelings and things that we stir up in a practice. Take a few more moments here. And on your last breath, rock over to your right side. Make your way gently up to a seated position on your mat. Bring your hands together. Take a second of gratitude. We'll close out this practice this morning, as we always do, with a namaste. The light in me honors the light in you, as the light in you honors the light in me. Namaste. Thank you guys for joining in on this class on the class library. Hopefully, if you feel like that was too short of a class, you can check in with one of the other slower flows or longer flows that I have on the library. Thank you so much for allowing me to have a Saturday off. I hope you enjoy your weekend or week wherever you are doing this class. Thanks for tuning in. Have a good day.